Hello and welcome to this tutorial. In this tutorial we continue answering questions on the atomic structure. So in this question we are required to fill up the space where there's a zero. We're supposed to put a number there, and for you to know this number, obviously the first thing that you have to know is what is known as the nuclide. So when you go on the periodic table, you find something like this. That is a nuclide, where A represents the relative atomic mass, which is also known as the mass number, which is also known as the nucleon number. Then below you have what we call the atomic number, which is also known as the proton number. Then if you're dealing with an atom, you see a zero here. So there, the zero represents the charge. So if you see a zero, it means that you are dealing with an atom. Then in a case where you see a positive, obviously there's a number which represents a valence number. N positive means that you're dealing with a cation. Then when you see N negative, it means that you're dealing with an anion. So what is important here is to understand the nuclide and the details that comes with it. So back to the question. In this question we are required to calculate the mass number. So if you remember in the previous video, I gave you the formula. So to find the relative atomic mass, which is the mass number, we just add the P and the N. So when we look at the question here, your proton number is 14, your neutron number is also 14. So it's going to be 14 plus 14, which will give you 28. So in this case, our proton number is supposed to be 28. 14 plus 14. And the answer is correct. We go to the second question. The key here, the key is the red. Let me just check the colors. So red represents a proton. Then blue represents an electron. Then gray represents a neutron. So going back to the question, okay, so in this question we are required to determine the proton number. So if we go back to the nuclide, we know that the proton number, which is also known as the atomic number, is found down below, which is represented by the color red. So in this case, when you go back to the question, we just have to count the number of protons, and the number of protons here is 2. Therefore, there it's 2. And the answer is correct. The next question, we are asked to find the charge. So whenever you're asked to find the charge, the guidance or the key is that when P is equal to E, it means that you're dealing with an atom, therefore the charge is 0. But when P is not equal to E, it means that you're dealing with an ion, which can be a cation, N positive, or can be an anion, which is N negative. So in this case, we just check if our P is equal to E. And in this question, the proton number is 16, the electron number is 16, therefore your charge is 0. So there's nothing to change there. So our charge is 0. The answer is correct. In this question, we are asked to find the mass number. So we only have one red, which represents red represents a proton. The neutron in that question is 0. Therefore, mass number is going to be P plus N. Your P is 1, your N is 0. Therefore, your mass number is 1. And in this case, it's 1. Correct. And the last question, we are asked to find the charge of hydrogen. So for us to know whether it's 0 or it's positive or negative, we have to refer back to the key. So when P is equal to E, so in this case, you notice that there's only a proton, there is no blue, which is an electron. Therefore, P is not equal to E. P is not equal to E. Then the second question is it a cation or is it an anion? So by positive, it means losing. By negative, it means gaining. So looks like we have lost an electron. Therefore, if the P is not equal to E, then it means that it has to be a positive one. And the answer is correct. So for any clarification, any questions, you can post in the comment section, then we can discuss. See you in the next video.